Okay, great. So thanks again, Cheurice, for joining us. And I just want to introduce you to the team. I'm really excited to hear from you today. And we've met actually, it's at UIA when we were eating our lunch. Gosh, it's a little over a year ago now, crazy. But Cheurice is a mom of three, and she actually has 6 years of experience in network marketing, 2 years with Isogenics. And within that 2 years, she has become a Start 100 member. She's a 4-star Crystal Executive, 4-star Golden Circle. So that means that she hit at least 60 cycles in a given week for that first 4-star. And then she has 4 personally enrolled executives. So that's like really amazing that she has 4 personally enrolled executives on her team. And you guys all know how much of a challenge it is getting to executives. So that's great. But what's really awesome is that Cheurice has actually been #1 in enrolling for Isogenics. So a top enroller in the whole company globally. And she's also #1 in Leader in Action. So I look at those Leader in Action reports and I saw your name and I started to say like, oh my gosh, I remember Cheurice. And I looked at your page and I happened to see a live you and your husband did. And it was so good. I am not shocked at all that you have attracted people to you and your team. So I'm really excited to hear what you have to say today. But first, I would love to just kind of hear about like how you got started in network marketing in general, because I know you have years before Isogenics, and then what attracted you to Isogenics?
Great. Well, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for your introductions. Like when people are introducing you, it feels like it's almost like someone singing happy birthday to you and you're just like sitting there like, what do I say? So thank you though. I'm very honored. And I just want you to know, if this hot mess express right here, just got back from kids and ballet, like if I can find the time in my day to do this, I just want to encourage you. Because I know for me, when I first started, and I'll get into my network marketing story, but I looked up to so many, and I still do, so many Start members who they don't have kids yet. And I'm just like, listen, if you don't have kids and you're not like crushing this, what are you doing with your time? Like, tell me, because when you are a mom, especially when you have multiple children, it's just seems like you just never have enough. You just never have enough, or crock pot meals. We're doing all the things. So anyways, network marketing for me. I went to school. I did the whole college route. I actually spent 7 years of my life doing my college degree because I became a mom during that process. I was a 3rd grade teacher, and during my teaching year, I got pregnant with my second, and we were just looking at daycare prices and what it would look like because our oldest wasn't going to be ready for kindergarten yet, so that meant 2 kids in daycare. And it was insane that I was going to have to teach 22 other kids all day long, which of course I signed up for, but still, when I had 2 kids that somebody else was going to be taking care of for me, and I was going to walk away each month making $500, okay? And teachers, love on your teachers, especially right now. I can't imagine teaching during the pandemic, but it's not just when you're in the classroom, it's when you're home, it's your grading papers, your lesson planning, it's just a lot. So anyways, a mascara fell into my lap from one of my friends from high school. And long story short, I thought it was awesome. I had teachers around the school asking me, what's up with your lashes? They look so good. And so I just started, saying, okay, well, I just bought this mascara, and I was sending them to my friend. And then she did the whole classic, hey, I could make money by enrolling these people to buy their mascara, or you could. And I had never heard of network marketing. So I feel like network marketing kind of fell into my lap, and that company was incredible in so many ways. But once I knew more, I'm sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Once I knew more of what this vehicle was, like what network marketing could be, I realized I was in like a school bus when I wanted to be in a rocket ship. I wanted my hard work to never flush. I wanted my team to be able to benefit from what I did. And that's just kind of how Isogenics came into my life. One of my friends on Facebook, I didn't even know her personally, Amy Meyer. She's incredible. She's I don't know if any of y'all know her, but you probably do. She's super awesome. She just reached out to me very boldly and was just like, hey, I don't know where you're at in your life. I don't know where I've caught you. I don't know how happy you are with where you're at. I think you're incredible at what you do. I'd love to have just 15 minutes to talk with you. And you guys, I put her on ice. I was like, oh God, one of those. I was like, no, I'm happy. But month after month, when you're in a party plan, if you know anybody who's in a party plan, just love on them, get to know them well, because more than likely they're going to get burned out. It's very repeating over and over. Okay. So anyways, all that to say, do some bold messages because Amy Meyer reached out to me, I'm where I'm at now, which I was with that other company for 4 years. And as hard as I worked, it didn't matter because my team had to sell each team leg. There was 4 legs. I just want you guys to understand how amazing Isogenics is, okay? There were 4 legs on that team I had to build, and they each in that 30-day month, sometimes 28-month, sometimes 31-day month, had to sell $10,000. If that didn't happen, I didn't hit the final rank. And it was a year and a half in being stuck at that, almost at the top of the company's position where I realized, you know what? I'm not making very much. I'm working really hard. This starts over every month. People are burning out because that's a really hard goal. So here we are. And that's why I'm so thankful to have Isogenics because you guys, we have it so good. And I brought skills over and I always want to make sure people know, you know, don't compare your journey with mine if you are brand new into network marketing, if you haven't been in this industry for 6 years, because I am taking several skills over and I'm going to give you guys some of those skills tonight. It's really systems. It's really just, if a system is there that people can duplicate, that's what works, right? If you can be a rock star, which is what I was in my previous company, it didn't matter because if you couldn't get other people to be a rock star, you were stuck. And here, I don't have to get them to rock star status per se. I have to teach them how to enroll people and how to help them enroll 2 people. And if I can do that, then I can hit the top of the company and they can hit the top of the company because they take those same systems, teach their people, and it duplicates. Does that make sense? So there's my story. I know there's a lot of information.
I love it. And just to like reiterate something you said, first of all, I love that you said that you had 4 years prior experience before, because a lot of times I think people do compare. Like, oh my gosh, I just joined Isogenics and how is she, you know, skyrocketing? And a lot of times it's some, you know, you don't know where the skills are coming from. The belief could be already built up, the skills. But when you said how you were reached out to, I really thought that was incredible. How somebody boldly asked you, where are you at in your life? How are things going? Do you have 15 minutes? And so I'll just tell you guys, there's a girl I'm friends with on Facebook. I don't know how we're connected through something with direct sales. I love her post. Like, she is definitely into her faith. She's strong. She's bold. She seemed like she was really happy. So I never boldly asked her. And yesterday I noticed she joined another company. And she actually, I thought she was doing so amazing. And I thought, man, I should have really reached out to her. And it was kind of like a lesson to me not to assume that she was doing so amazing. So just, that's a great lesson to just boldly reach out. So I loved that.
I've been there in your spot, and that sucks.
Yeah,
but
I know, it all happens for a reason, not to say, but it was just like, here, I didn't reach out to her assuming, right? We assume. And then I noticed she joined another company who was making her announcement on Facebook. So I'll support her and still follow her. But I was like, wow, so she was willing to leave, and I had assumed otherwise. But the other question I just have for you is like, just being this number 1 enroller, top enroller in the company continually, and top leader in action, which is very difficult to stay number 1 over and over like you are. So what do you attribute that to?
Well, I feel like my secret sauce has been, I use stories a lot. So if you guys are on the, Facebook, Instagram story area, I consider that like my behind the scenes of my life. And it's where I really work hard to connect with other moms. Because especially, like, you have to know your avatar. And some of you who aren't parents, your avatar is going to be different than mine, but figure it out, because that's who you're talking to every single time you're in your stories, because that's who you want to relate with, right? So for me, I don't care about relating to the people in the gym. I don't care about relating to the single ladies who are, living their best life. I'm looking at the married mamas, the parents, And so I share my struggles in there as a mom. I share my struggles in there as a woman. Yesterday I was sharing about my phobia of the dentist, because I went to the dentist for the first time in a year and a half. It's just, and the amount of messages that you get when people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know somebody else hated the dentist as much as me. It's been 4 years for me. I better go, So I use my stories a lot. And I don't always have them convert to being in the Isogenics world right away. Sometimes I've looked back and it's been a year and a half of just communicating through stories, but you kind of get a feel for who's really watching you, and you make sure that you have your notifications set on them. Like on Facebook, you can click to see first on their profile. That way, anytime they write something, you're going to see that first in your news feed. Now, don't like be a creeper and comment within the first 6 seconds that she posts it. You know, that's weird, but it makes sure you don't miss it. And so I'm just always having an idea of like 20 to 25 people that I am just pouring into. And then once I feel like we're on good terms, I reach out, you know, and it might be that they made a status like, oh my gosh, these pants, you know, I've been wearing leggings this whole quarantine. I just put on jeans and I feel so, you know, defeated. I'm reaching out. I'm like, hey girl, listen, I would never reached out about this if you didn't post, but I want to let you know, I have finally found something that is not making me hangry, lethargic, evil. You know, I am happy. I'm living my best life and I want to tell you about it. You know, are you open to that? Do you mind? Because of course, you know, when you're talking about weight loss, it can come off a little weird. Like if she never made that post, I never would have reached out about that because that's just weird, you know? But you're so in sync with the people that you're thinking of and that are your avatars that you know when the time is right. It's like you're making a move in the dating world, you know? You wouldn't make that move if it wasn't time, if you didn't feel right, you know? So I always have a funnel, and my funnel is like, so imagine like a little, you know, a funnel. I don't know why else I wanted to explain that. Imagine a funnel. The top part of my funnel really is, you know, my Facebook posts. You know, people see my posts and every now and then they're engaging like this vacuum or this vacuum. Sometimes my posts are a highlight of something awesome that happened. Sometimes it's, hey guys, my 5-year-old does not like to eat dinner. Anybody else out there, what do I do? Do I just give her peanut butter and jelly or do I make her eat what we eat? You know, all the moms are like, pounce, let me tell you what I do. Because people love to share how to parent. It's just, it happens. You know, you can be in the store and they're gonna be like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. You know, people love to tell you how to parent. So for me, those are my like, okay, look at who's watching my posts. I'm sorry. I live by timers. That's another thing. My phone has timers all the time. So anyways, my funnel is here. So the Facebook posts, and the second level is my stories. So they're getting deeper down. They're getting to know me. And if you can have somebody reach out to you and say, hey, I know you don't know me, but I feel like I know you and we could be best friends. That kind of validates that you're doing your social media justice and you're connecting with people and you're not just, look at me, my life's together, I'm perfect, because that is unrelatable. That makes people go, unfollow. I feel less than when I see her stories. I don't want to feel less than. I want to feel like we're equal and oh my gosh, I'm not alone, you know? And so they move from my Facebook stories to or from my Facebook posts, watching my stories, they get to know me better. And then when they're communicating with me in my stories, I know I need to start engaging with them on their posts. And that's like the final piece of my funnel is now I'm making sure we're commenting on each other's posts. If it's her birthday, of course, I'm reaching out. If she makes a post, even unrelated to anything health and wellness, I'm going to message her versus comment on her post some of the times, right? So that way my algorithm is that much stronger with her. And she feels like, oh my gosh, like I didn't think she'd care to ask, reach out to me. Just whatever. It's just really what it boils down to is just, it takes a little extra time, but it's spending the right time with the right people. I think too many times we get caught up in seeing other people in our isogenics world and looking at their posts and commenting on their posts. And you're just teaching your Facebook robot that you want a relationship with that person when really that's not who you really want to be a part of. Right. And so that's a whole different training, but you could do a Facebook friend list and add every single isogenics person that you look up to or you relate to or whatever, sidelines, downlines, uplines, put them in that list and take a portion of your day, 10 minutes, I would say max, and go in that Facebook list and go see the things that they've posted. But otherwise, stay in your lane, let your newsfeed be the people you need to be loving on and connecting with, and that comes from knowing your avatar. So I would say that's kind of part of why I'm constantly where I'm at and enrolling is just because I'm always having people marinating. They're like in my crock pot, like they're just sitting there. And eventually when they're ready, that's the best time because they've been like marinating for a month, 3 months, a year and a half, but that's kind of part of it. The other part, which we can go in, I don't know what other questions you have that we can lead into this with, but it's the systems. And in my Isogenics Academy training, I don't know if you guys got to see that. If you missed it, I actually uploaded it to my YouTube because that was a super cool experience for me and I never want to forget it. So I have it, but it was basically what to say, like how to help your people share about Isogenics when they don't have experience like me or like you, right? Because so many times I was in the beginning of my journey, I had people getting great results. But the thought of sharing something so vulnerable on their Facebook was like, no, I share pictures of my dogs, like not me, you know? And so I had to overcome that objection by having a guide. And so the other piece that you guys get to hear about tonight is, what do we say when people are interested? How do you get them to enroll? How do you, when you don't even know them, right? And some of it is very probably something you've heard before, but just in case you haven't, we're gonna go over that, all right? So when somebody, I'm gonna act like Gina's my customer, right? Gina's getting phenomenal results. And she's like, okay, well, yeah, I've lost 10 pounds. I'm feeling great, blah, blah, blah. That's when I pounce, you know, I'm like, okay, listen, these products are incredible, but they taste even better when they're free. What about me sending you my posting guide? Just partner with me for a week. I'll model for you exactly how I do this, but every single day I'll send you like a post and you tag me and we watch the magic happen. I'd love to get you eating free next month. And then usually I've had just a couple people be like, no, thank you. But usually they're like, sure, you know, because it's a posting guide. There's really no thought process behind it. It's copy paste, they do it. They tag me, I do the work, right? So Gina makes her first post, and in a perfect world, she's got people commenting, but that doesn't always happen. But we're just gonna, for simple sake, say it happened on day one. And I say, hey, Gina, this is incredible. Look at all these people already wanting to know what you're doing, right? Listen, will you put each person in a message with me? Not all 6 at once, just you, me, and one other person, right? So she puts us in the message. Now we take over. So now let's say Samantha, who I see in my video. Samantha is Gina's friend. So Gina goes, hey, Samantha, this is my friend Cheurice. She's the one that I just shared in my Facebook post. She knows all the answers because I'm very new at this, but I am feeling incredible and I want to make sure you get the right answers. So then I introduce myself. Okay, this is the first part of the template that we use. I used to say script, but it kind of feels really robotic. So now we say template because that sounds a little more like, you know, tweak it, make it sound like you. But basically I would go, hey, Samantha, so good to meet you. I'm so excited to talk about Isagenix with you. If you don't mind, I'd love to hear your health goals to see if you would be a great fit, okay? And who doesn't want to be a great fit for something? We do, right? Someone tells you you're a great fit, you're like, oh, thanks, you know, that feels good to hear. And so what goal in the health and wellness space would Isagenix not help with, right? So it's really, you know, whatever they're going to say, you're going to be able to help with. At least I haven't found a goal in 2 years that don't work. So Samantha would probably say something like, hey, you know, I'd love to lose 10 pounds. I mean, this quarantine is really getting to me. I've never heard of Isagenix, okay? And so then I'd be like, okay, you're a perfect fit. That was me. Like, I wanted to actually lose 30 pounds. Let me show you my other photo I took recently. And it'll be another photo, different from the posting guide, okay? And then I'll go into like just a brief story. Like for me, I used to yo-yo diet. I used to binge eat. I was just depleted nutritionally and I had no idea that was the thing. So I found Isagenix now 2 years ago and here I am. I have 3 kids and I have never felt this good. Now let me talk about something before we talk about your 30-day trial, because you do get that. And your friend Gina is going to give you a special hookup. There's no risks here. But listen, what do you think you spend on average for your food per week? Okay, so the first part of the template was introducing yourself, what's your story, you know, what are your health goals. The second part is we're talking about food, which isn't revolutionary. I'm sure most of you heard that. Like, ask them what they're spending on their food, because in our culture, we swipe, pay, and eat, swipe, pay, and drink all the time. It adds up. Your husband gets mad later, but you deal with that later, because right now you're going to go get your Panera. You know, that's just how our culture works. So you ask them to think about that, and most of the time they'll come back to you with some kind of number. Which when they say $50 a week, I'm like, dream on, okay? But I don't say that. I'm just like, okay, no worries, listen, but whatever. When they'll give you a number, and that's when I give them the same 3 options I give everyone. Our team has decided we operate on 3 bundles. We never sell a value pack. It's because we never share it, you know, but we go off of the premium, the basic, and the everyday shake bundle, and that's it. So I say, hey, this is awesome. Let me give you 3 recommendations for the most popular bundles that could fit your budget because of your goals. And I break it down by day. Here's the premium bundle. It's gonna come with blah, blah, blah. It's about $13 a day, free shipping. Here's your second option. It's $9 a day. Doesn't have all of those bells and whistles, but it's $9 a day, okay? So it's a great starting point if that's what you can do. And the final one I'll give you is the everyday shake one. It's gonna replace 2 of your meals every day for the month, $6 a day. What fits you best, okay? What fits you best? And you get out of their pocket. And that's like one of the best things I was told way in, like before when I did the beauty industry. Get out of their pocket. Don't assume that they can't afford a premium bundle and only offer them the shake bundle. Let them choose. You don't know how they feel at night when they're laying their head on their pillow. You don't know privately what their doctors told them about their health. And even though they're currently spending $50 a week, for their food, they may say, you know what, I want to go all out. I want all the bells and whistles. Let's do the premium bundle, right? So give them the 3 options. When they choose their option, you say, great, I'm going to make you an exclusive cart. So you have Gina's pricing and the 30-day trial. Let's pick your flavors. Okay. We run off of carts. Anybody else do carts? Do y'all run off of carts? Okay. Some teams I talk to, they're like, what? No, listen, the carts are incredible and they're only going to get better next year. So totally be using those. And so for Gina, I would make the cart for her friend, for Samantha. I would go to the cart. I would share Gina's name as who the enrolling sponsor is. Okay. And then I would say, does it need to be on the right leg or left leg, right? So then there's no accidental, oh, they enrolled and both people went on the right leg, and then you're calling customer service and figuring that all out. Like, that's a headache. Instead, you are in control. You know that Gina needs someone on her right, Gina needs someone on her left, so that Gina can access the compensation plan, and you get that, and that consultant, and you help your leader in action from that. Blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of how it goes. Like, it's just rinse and repeat. And I save it as a text shortcut in my phone. Okay. Anybody know how to do text shortcut replacements? It's a dream. Okay. So if you don't know how, because of course an iPhone is going to be different than an Android, but just Google how to do text shortcut replacements on whatever device you have. And what happens is my very first message, okay, one of my customers puts me in there, hey, this is my friend Cheurice, blah, blah, blah. I type in, hey, my message pops up that I already have saved. I tap it, send it, go, swipe, next message. And then I'll do the next, whatever I have in my inbox going on that day, which is, I'm sorry, Gina, that's why I never, I am always kind of like a day later replying to Gina at best. But it's just your inbox. You should be so busy in the movement during your time block that you should not have your phone out all the day, all the time. Okay. We have children, we have things going on, but when it is your time for your Isogenics business, which for me is in the mornings before my kids are awake, an hour in the afternoon when they're in nap time / quiet time, or if I didn't get up that morning, it's at night before I get to watch any fun shows. Okay, so when your time is. I'll get to the chat box. Sorry if you're asking a question, I'm ignoring you. Sorry, I have to see, I already lost it. What was I just saying?
Don't worry, I'll monitor the chat and ask you. But you were talking about time blocking.
Perfect. Okay, so your inbox should be so busy with the effective things you're doing for your business that you don't have time to look back and see if somebody read your message and ghosted you. That's how busy it should be when you're in there. Now, I don't open my inbox unless it's my time blocking time, because I don't want to get lost in there. I don't want to accidentally open a message and not be able to give it my all, not be able to respond correctly. That's a very big area of my business, I will say. So know when you're spending time on your Isogenics business and know how you're spending it. Not getting lost in the scroll hole, but that script helps me. Then when I open up my messenger, even if it's somebody replied last night and now it's in the morning before my kids get up, I tap it, I open it, oh, somebody's telling me your health goals. Now it's time for my next message. And it'll be the next one, which is food. So I type in food, I tap it, it sends. Perfect, you're a great fit. Listen, let's talk about what you're spending on your food right now, so that way we can have a great idea of what bundle would fit you best for your 30-day trial. Okay, so that's kind of another secret sauce, I guess you could say, is I don't like to waste time. I don't want to sit there and type it out, and I just have it saved. And it's the same message that I've seen work over and over and over, that why would I want to change it? It works. And so I get Gina to consultant. And at that point, it's my time, because as a teacher, it's hands-on. Then you step back a bit and you guide them, and then you back away, right? So at that point, for Gina hitting consultant would be my time to kind of shadow her and say, okay, hey, listen, let's do this again. There's more people that that would love to feel their best. And there are 2 people that you just enrolled. Let's invite them to use the same posting guide, just like I just did with you. Okay, we were on day 1 with Gina, but Gina's going to continue those posts all the way through day 7. So she's going to know what those posts look like. She's not going to know what they say. And she's going to be able to feed them to her happy customers, or even her customers. I've had somebody within the first 3 hours of ordering her box make the first post and get her people and get her box paid for. It's possible. We don't have to wait till they get results, you guys. You realize that? I didn't realize that in the beginning. I was like, I'll just wait till they lose 10 pounds, you know? No. Some people are like, you know what? I'll try. I have girlfriends who would go to a new restaurant with me. Why wouldn't they try my new health program with me? I don't want to do it alone, you know? Pose it as an option. But I would tell Gina, hey, let's let your 2 girls who just enrolled, let's tell them we can get their box paid for. And so Gina would go in, I give her the message, here, shoot this message to her. And she'd shoot the message to her, both of them. And then in the perfect world, they both would say, yeah, let me do it. And then Gina asks me questions. Hey, what do I say? And I'm like, hey, screenshot the message for me. She screenshots it for me. I give her the answer. She goes. I'm just teaching her how to run this, because if she's going to need to suckle at the teat for the rest of her isogenics life, it ain't going to work out. You know, like I got to teach her how to be self-sufficient. And so the system, the template, the ability to ask me questions in the beginning as we get her to manager, because once she's manager, now she's on our weekly manager call. We're in a chat together. If she's got a question, she can ask in there. So I know this is so much information, but let's ask questions or ask me whatever you got.
Things. First of all, what grade did you teach?
I taught 3rd grade.
Okay, so I was a 4th grade teacher and a 2nd grade teacher. So I know teachers always like the structure and the systems for sure. So I actually created a like a 30-day onboarding thing recently for the team to use, and the people who have done it and stuck with it made about $1,000 their first 30 days. And so it's very similar to what you're saying with post ideas, getting them, we always say at ATM, add tag message. But what I'm hearing from you is like you are helping your person get their 2 people. So I think sometimes there's like a lack of that linking arms. Like we just like say, okay, here you go. This is what you do. And then the new people are really scared. They're not sure what to do. So I find that, you know, what you're really saying here is that you help your customer with their first 2. And then from there, you are teaching them. So yes. I hope that everybody's really taking it in, like it is work, because we have to set them up for success from the beginning. And like you said, make sure that one goes on the left and one goes on the right. And I know some of you guys are already really on board with that, and you're linking arms with people and you're walking through what we have, the system that we have. But then I do think sometimes people are just tagging like on a system and not really linking arms. So I like that you reiterate how important the linking arms and really helping them, giving them the posts, ideas. The other question was somebody wanted to know if you would share your template. Is that in that YouTube training?
Yeah. So I was actually, the easiest way I found is if I just shoot them all to you, Gina, and that way you can share it out with whatever team page you have.
And we'd love to watch your training too.
I can. Yeah. So I thought she meant the template. Like
both. I was
okay,
just
cool.
thinking that you said that. YouTube.
Yeah, I'll send you that YouTube video that has it up there. But something I've been working closely with Lynn Hagedorn. She's one of my upline sponsors, and she's been drilling in my head over and over. You have to slow down to be able to speed up. And if we're constantly like, I'm a sponsor monster and I'm really wanting to pull away from that because I don't want to be tied to my inbox for the rest of my life. Anyone else? I want to create so many leaders, so many business builders that if I want to unplug for a week and go somewhere, 2 weeks, go somewhere, my team has the systems in place. I have leaders ready to pick up the team calls. Like I don't want needy people, you know, so that's why I'm slowing down more. I'm really focusing on these systems, and I'm 100% on you, and then I'm 50% on you, and then I'm going to back up a bit, and now you're in our team page. And of course, if you got big goals, of course, if you're quitting your job and you need Isogenics to replace it, we're on a different level of coaching at that point. But a lot of people are really content at manager, I found. The leadership pool, you know, the manager pool for those 3 months, that's great. And at that point, then I'm like, hey, listen, this is your 3rd month in the manager pool. You're doing great. Let's look at director. Let's just take a peek. Because if you could hit manager, you could hit director. And then that's a whole new ball game, right? But there's 3 months kind of just sitting in the systems, and they're just kind of getting comfortable. And then I go somewhere else. Another thing I wanted to say that Ilani, she's an amazing woman from Hawaii. Anybody know her? She's so incredible.
Was she on our call? I know there's 2 girls. I think she was on, right, Natalie?
Oh, okay. She might have told you guys this then about, how she says, we don't make money off our family and friends, make it with them. And I was like, girl, that's so good. Like, that's such a great way to position this with people, you know? It's just so good.
Yeah, and I love what you just shared with Lynn's training about that, because I feel like sometimes people are so, they don't want to put the time up front, but then if you
Mm-hmm.
put that time, that's why I love like a first 30-day onboarding routine with somebody. Like you're just like, when my people that excel, I'm talking to them every day for 30 days,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's
Mm-hmm.
text, quick on the phone, voice clips, like you do that work up front because you're teaching them, and then they can duplicate that. So it's so true that upfront work is so worth it. And even having a retention with your customer, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
retention and they don't share, but they refer to you,
Mm-hmm.
the
Right.
first initial time, you really slow down and you treat every single enrollment like gold. I love that. And then with your stories, when you were talking about stories, do you do a lot of videos and like where you're talking, or
Mm-hmm.
is it written? Like, what do you do with the stories that you find? Is it the lives type of thing?
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing, like pretend this is my phone, which is a giant Alexa I unplugged so nobody sent me an announcement. But if your stories are constantly where the camera is facing your world, that's not as engaging and exciting as if it's flipped around and facing you. And so I try to do a good balance. Like I want to show my kids, and so whatever they're up to, I'll show. But for the most part, I like to flip it around to myself. I don't like to do too many stories in a day because I know for myself, if I see somebody has like a trillion little story dots going across, I'm just like, I don't feel like sitting there for that long, you know? So know that, what do you like? And then do that, right? Because more than likely you're connecting with somebody and there are other people who connect the same way. So if she does 10 stories a day, do no more than 10 stories a day, you know, just figuring out that balance. But definitely seeing your face, and don't be afraid to put on a filter if you're like, I am a hot mess today, you know, and you can even say, oh, I love this filter. You guys check this out. You know, another thing I wanted to say right now with the way the world has been this year, I have grown a lot in this business in that I used to focus so heavy on products, like the product experience, lose weight. And I attracted people who, you know, would be here for a month, 2 months, 6 months, but I didn't attract people who saw the business because they didn't even really know. And so I wanted to encourage you guys, ever since somebody brought that to my attention, because I was like, man, I want to get more business builders, you know, like I just want people who see it from the beginning and I can dive into with them, and it's not, I don't feel like I have to like work so hard as what I feel like I have to do sometimes. And it's really, if you're not talking about the business, if all you talk about is the products, which is what I would do, of course that's what you're going to attract. And so Lynn was like, look at your posts. This was probably 6 months ago, and see what kind of posts, what story have you been telling? And I was telling the story of weight loss. I was telling the story of a mom getting her groove back, because I have, but I wasn't telling the story of what this business can do. So if you go to my Facebook now, I think you'll see I do a lot of just what ifs and the word imagine, which is such a powerful word, and just business focused posts. So that way I'm top down approach. Like I can talk about the business, and hey, if it ends up not being for you, let's default to the products. Let's talk about, you know, how's your health been? Let's talk about that, you know? So just this world, I found so many people who told me no 2 years ago to the products are reaching out based on my bold posts, I call them, wanting to know more about this virtual franchise that we have, as Jessica Rigner would say, right?
That is
So,
such a great shift that I think so many people who come in for the products, me included, have had to go through to really attract. Because if you're talking about products and results, you're going to get people that are looking for products and results only. You really want to make sure there's a healthy mix. If you still want to talk about products, great, but also, like you said, the business opportunity is really what's going to grow for your
mm-hmm.
business. So
Yeah.
now you are doing so you were talking more about like helping your person get to consultant. When you are enrolling people, are you ever like, how are you building the relationship? Do you talk with them on the phone? Do you do Zooms,
Mm-hmm.
or is it all texting and through Facebook groups? Like where's the balance between the written text and like them getting to talk to you?
So we do a lot of voice messenger back and forth. Occasionally I'll do a Zoom call. Like I have a girl in Canada. She literally just one day was like, you know, I just quit my job. I can't do it anymore. I need Isogenics to replace it. And I'm like, hold on, girl. You could have gave me a warning. So she and I have been having weekly Zooms just because she's got, you know, urgent goals. But for the most part, it's voicing back and forth. And, you know, a lot of the women that I work with, they're moms, and they're so busy that to ask for them to take time out of their day where they can't just erase a voice message if their kid starts screaming and having a tantrum, that's a lot of stress and pressure. And I never want to feel like I'm adding pressure and stress to your day. I want you to feel like you could work this into pockets of your time. Let's send some voice memos back and forth when your kid's napping, whenever works best, you know? So no real phone calls. And honestly, I'm very introverted, and that would probably suck the life out of me if I had to like think on the spot that long, that often.
Yeah, great.
You know,
Well, I
so
know a
I've
lot of
done.
people don't like to get on the phone, and so
True.
that's good to you see your templates for those people that are also, just not as bold to do that, or just don't have the time, or or their people don't have the time.
Yes.
Oh, and then one more question. I know you have your call. Do you have a timeline for initial reach outs, and then when you follow up with them? Oh, so I guess like, do you have like a timeline for like when you reach out and following up, like, or do you take it person by person?
It's really person by person. You know, some people, here's kind of how it goes. Like, say I say a story about how, oh my gosh, this is one of my things I got a lot of feedback on. All right, you guys, I'm wearing shorts. Like, I'm sick and tired of wearing capris every summer. I don't care that I have spider veins anymore. I don't care if I have some cellulite. I have never felt this good regardless of that. And I really think real humans, real women have these. So here's me in my shorts, you guys. I'm gonna encourage you today. Go put your shorts on, go play with your kids outside, go do your thing, you know? And the amount of women that I had reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, me too. Like, that was just the push I needed. When they connect with me in a vulnerable way, our relationship kind of expedites, you know, because we know each other's secrets almost. So that person's going to be ready much quicker than somebody who is just kind of commenting on things here and there, kind of sending me a heart emoji to a story. You know, they're on a different spot. So you kind of have to tell it like with a real friend, you know, like, what would you feel comfortable asking your real friend in real life? If you guys have gone out to dinner one time, would you feel comfortable asking her to watch your child? Probably not. You know when the right time is to ask that question, you know, and it's the same thing with these people. They are, although they're in the virtual world, they need a certain level of comfort and trust to know, like, and trust us before they're willing to put anything in their body, you know? And so I wish I had an answer that I could say, hey, 3 weeks from when you guys connect is the best time. But ultimately, if you talk once every 3 weeks, it's going to take a while, you know, but if you're engaging on her posts, she happens to start engaging on yours. If you're messaging her when she asks questions on her Facebook, because so many people go to Facebook, you know, Dr. Facebook, what do I do about this? You know, hey, anybody have good recommendations for this? Just go to her inbox instead and say, hey, I saw your status. I just wanted to leave you a quick voice message. Here's what I found. Blah, 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 blah. You know, hearing your voice, totally different connection. So if you're willing to pour in a little more than just liking a status, then it's going to happen quicker. And when I do reach out, I mean, it's different for each person as well. But it is a voice message. It's sometimes I kind of like, I'll let them know, I'm really nervous to even offer this to you because I just think you're this incredible person. I think you're probably way cooler than me, but I really love this nutrition that I have in my body, and I see how busy you are. And I really think this would just bring you to a new level. So I wanted to ask if you'd be open to trying it for 30 days, give me your honest thoughts, you know, but just kind of acknowledging, like, I am nervous. I do think you're super cool. That she's at least going to be flattered, right? And she might tell you, oh, you know what? I can't right now, but thanks for thinking of me, right? But you planted a seed, and that's what Amy Meyer did for me. She planted a seed about this business, and it took her months, you guys. It took her from easily August when she first opened up to me, because it was right before Celebration was in Nashville, because I lived there at the time. Right around August, I did not start my business Isogenics until December. So August, September, October, November, December. Had she messaged me that one time and never followed back up, I would be crushed. I wouldn't have what I have right now. And what I have right now, when I'm able to give other people, it's just such a gift, you know? And so when we go back to like reaching out to people, you know when the time is right, but don't burn it going too soon. Don't burn it by sending a copy and paste message. Let it be a voice message. You know, I think the way Jessica talked on the Grow Week call, I don't know if you guys got to tune into that, but apparently they're going to be,
I said most of us did. It was amazing.
Yeah, some of my team missed it. I was like, what? But I just heard that they're going to be coming out next week or something, or this week. I don't know. So there's good. But she had such a great framework for how she reaches out to people the way she flatters them, what to say, how to say it. And I've tweaked what I say now based on that verbiage. And that's what we have to do. What I know today and what I do today will be different in 6 months. It will be different in a year because I'm constantly gleaning from other leaders. I can learn a lot from Gina. You know, just because I'm number one on this, it doesn't matter to me because I want to help more people. I'd rather see my team be number one. Does that make sense? Because if my team is being number one, I'm working, my hands are less on this business. I'm really experiencing time freedom. So I realize I have to grind right now. I realize I have to hustle right now. But ultimately, to set that many more people financially free and to ultimately set myself financially free and time free, we got to do it, you guys, you know? So there's no right time to say reach out, but you'll know it and you'll feel it and you'll be nervous and you'll voice message that person and you'll risk it for the biscuit when it feels right. Okay.
So Cheurice, so it's fair to say that your social media has been a predominant building in your business?
100%. That's
And Facebook, Instagram, both, or is one from?
I started on Facebook. I had 500 or less friends. That was in 2015. So I've built it where it's at. But I use Facebook groups and there's just so much. There's, you know, like find what you're interested in. Like for me, we're a blended family. So there's blended family Facebook groups. There's, you know, if you're a dog mom, find a Facebook group about your particular breed. You know, it's just, I use groups. When I moved into this neighborhood, I found the group that they had going for it. I'm engaged in there. I'm asking questions in there. So you can grow your Facebook. And right now in the middle of this pandemic, this 2020 crazy year, you can still grow your business without having to host a sip and sample or, you know, like it's so possible because that's all I've done. Like if with the season I'm in of my life right now, if I had to leave my house and go places, one, this introvert would probably do one every month at best. That would scare me so much. But two, I don't want to miss out on my children's lives. I don't want to miss having to kiss them bed, you know, at that time because I'm at a house party, you know. So social media is so powerful. And if somebody offered me network marketing in the 90s when I had to knock on people's doors, 100% no. Get out of here, you know. So yeah, social media is where it's at. You just gotta
Awesome.
figure it out.
You're doing great on social media. Thank you so much for your tips. No rush because I know you have your call, but I would love your template and your YouTube link. And we'll share it. And if you guys are not following Cheurice yet, just you could follow her. I know, like sometimes I just like to follow other leaders so they don't get inundated with all those friend requests. But you do such a great job on social media. I love when you and your husband together do your videos. They're great. And showing the compensation plan and showing what's possible. And I feel like it's such a great way to connect, especially if you're using links and like texting a lot. It's great for people to like hear you and see you.
That's true.
Connect. So that's so great. So, and I'll see you next week on your call.
Yes. Thank you. It was great to see you guys. Crush it. Have a great year.
Thank you again. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. And thanks.